Hey everyone, Harris Rubenstein here for NBA Weekly. We have some breaking news out of Toronto as the Raptors have fired head coach Dwane Casey after another disappointing performance in the NBA playoffs. Despite having the #1 seed and the best record in franchise history, the Raptors were no match for LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have swept them out of the playoffs for the second time in as many seasons. Casey was great with the Raptors, winning 320 games to only 238 losses as the head coach of the Raptors. This was the best record in team history this year and the first time in franchise history that they were the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. A very surprising coaching fire, if you ask me. I don't know how many better coaches there are other than Dwane Casey out there. He changed around the entire offensive system for the Raptors this past season, including more passing and more three-point shooting, and getting away from a very star-pointed offense in terms of giving the ball to DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry to do what they can do on the offensive side of the field. So we'll see what the Raptors will do with their coaching staff. We have 5 options for you as we go through the best possible candidates for the Toronto Raptors head coaching decision. And we start at number 5 with Jay Larranaga, the assistant coach for the Boston Celtics. He's interviewed multiple times for open head coaching jobs, most recently with the New York Knicks. There was also a report that he was interested in the Charlotte Hornets coaching job, but they gave that job to a Spurs assistant coach and not Larranaga. He is bound to get a head coaching job eventually, but for now, he remains the defensive assistant for the Boston Celtics. At number 4, we have Mark Jackson, the former Golden State head coach, who was replaced by Steve Kerr back in 2015. As of now, he has turned down multiple assistant coaching positions to stay in the broadcast booth on ESPN. He did a great job bringing the Warriors out of the depths of the Western Conference, but it was pretty clear that he was a little bit overmatched with some of the top teams in the West, and when he was replaced by Steve Kerr, the overall upside of performance with the Warriors was mostly because of the coaching replacement. So would Mark Jackson help the Raptors get over LeBron James? That remains to be seen, but if he couldn't do it with the Warriors, I wonder if he'd be able to do it against LeBron James. Our number 3 guy is Stan Van Gundy, the former Pistons coach who was recently fired this week. He was also the president of basketball operations, but there was a report that he was willing to give up that title to remain the head coach. The Pistons said no, and he was ousted. He did not do very well with the Pistons. He was a pretty big disappointment, going 152 and 176 with the Pistons. They made a midseason trade for Clippers star Blake Griffin to see if that could launch them into the Eastern Conference playoffs, but it was not to be as they finished with the 9th best record in the East. A pretty surprising performance for the Pistons in a relatively weak conference, not being able to make the playoffs. But Stan Van Gundy might want some front office control with the Raptors. However, if he just wants to be their coach, I think he'll be one of their top options. The next guy is Jerry Stackhouse, someone who I've mentioned a bunch in terms of NBA kind of coaching hotboards. Stackhouse is the Raptors G-League squad head coach, Raptors 905. They made it to the G-League finals this year and lost to the Spurs G-League team. He might be looking to make the jump to the NBA, and it would make sense if he would go to the parent club of the G-League squad with the Raptors. His time to be a head coach is coming. At this point, it's just a matter of which team will end up hiring him. I'm Harris Rubenstein for NBA Weekly. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsDean for all your NBA news and updates. We just went through our top 4 guys for Dwane Casey. Let's get into our number 1 candidate, and that is Mike Budenholzer, the former Hawks head coach who recently left the job due to the fact that he just didn't want to lose anymore. The Hawks told him that they were going to continue to tank to get more stars and to get higher draft picks. Budenholzer was not interested in being with the franchise after hearing that. He wanted the Knicks job, but it was given to David Fizdale. There are a lot of rumors about him maybe being the top candidate for the Milwaukee Bucks job as well. But if you had to ask me, and you probably are going to ask Mike Budenholzer, which job do you want? Do you want the 8th seed Bucks or the 1 seed Toronto Raptors? I have to imagine that Budenholzer will probably choose Toronto. So let's go through our top replacements for Dwane Casey. Our number 1 guy is Mike Budenholzer. After that, it's the Raptors G-League coach Jerry Stackhouse. After that is Stan Van Gundy, the recently fired Pistons head coach and president of basketball operations. At number 4 is Mark Jackson, the former Golden State Warriors head coach. And then finally, we have Jay Larranaga, the Celtics assistant coach, who has gotten plenty of interest around the NBA for head coaching jobs. That's going to do for me. Remember again to follow me on Twitter at SportsDean for all your NBA news and updates. And remember to subscribe to the Chat Sports YouTube page so you can get an alert whenever we have breaking news. But for now, we'll see ya.